Good morning and welcome to my live stream, Fight CPS with your host, Bob Pace. This is my morning live stream. I'm on twice a day. Every morning at 10 a.m. during the weekdays, I'm on. And then on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I'm on at 8. And it's a live stream that is all about helping you with your CPS case. Now, I'd like to start off by saying this is not legal advice. I'm not an attorney. This is for educational purposes only. And so, if you want legal advice, I have attorney Vincent Davis that can be reached at 888-888-6582. I'll tell you about him more. Now, as I say, I'm on twice a day, 7 days a week. I've been doing this now for uh, 25 months. This is my 25th month. I've started in October of 2023. I've talked to over 2,800 people or more. And they have something in common with me. We all ran into or encountered a rogue CPS entity, meaning somebody that is corrupt. This entity is corrupt. And it's a 50-50 chance that you'll get a corrupt agency. That's what statistics I found out that 50% of the time uh, they are corrupt. They do it solely for money more than anything else. It's $1 trillion business. The government freely gives the money to the county or to the state, and the state sends the money to the county. There's no protection on that money, meaning there's no accountability. The money freely flows as simple request. That's why there's an urgency to open up the case there. Good morning, Chrissy Jones. Hello there, Chrissy Jones. Um, if you want to text me a message, I'd love to hear from you. I put my banner up on the screen. Please make it a question or a comment about CPS. Please state your first name, your city, your county, and your state. Also, if you're outside the United States, put your country. That's all there is to it to make a text message. And what is your question or concern there, Chrissy, or do you want to make a comment? Now, who am I? I am a loving father, a husband. I have 43 years of marriage, and I have 61 years of life skills. And, or I've been working that long that can really help you there. Now, CPS is a very hard agency to deal with, to navigate with it. I've developed 5 rules that you need to follow. Now, when I use the word CPS, I mean the Child Protection System. It's a government agency that was started in '62 by an act of Congress who instructed the Social Service Department to form a group of social workers to protect our children from neglect and abuse. Furthermore, if they needed to break the family apart, they needed to do what's called family reunification. Studies have shown that the best parents to raise our children are our biological parents. So if the parents have a hiccup, there's parenting classes they can take or programs they can enroll in that'll help them with their drug problem or domestic violence, or their parenting classes as far as how to take care of children. So this Child Protection System, which abbreviates CPS, has many different names in every county, every place in the world. Some names are Department of Children and Family Services. Some are Department of Children's Services. Some are the Child Protection System. Some is called the Cabinet. It all pertains to the same thing, protecting our children. That's what I call CPS, the Child Protection System. Now, another entity that's similar to CPS is APS. That's the Adult Protective Services. A lot of people don't know that, but our adults are protected. And a lot of times, our young children that are 18, 19, 20 have special needs and need to be taken care of. So that's where Adult Protective Services comes into play. Also, our senior and elderly parents need to be protected from abuse in the care uh, giving places that the homes, the rest homes are in, or maybe they're with their children and not being taken care of. So there are other two agencies, the Child Protection System and the Adult Protection System. And I'll address both issues because some of you have doing that. Now, another way to uh, interact with this live stream is be a guest on my live stream. Please select one of my 14 live streams. Send me your name, your email, and your phone number to my email. And I'll gladly get a hold of my show producer who will send you a link to StreamYard, which is a software application I use that uses YouTube to do the broadcasting. But the rest of the application is all StreamYard, the way the format of the room and the questions and so forth. Now, once you get that link, paste in your browser. It's good for the length of the show in case you get bounced off. Also, that link will put you right in, and I have room for 9 of you. You just pick one of my 14 shows. You just pick one of my 14 shows. Um, like you just say, Bob, I want to be on your Sunday morning show, or Bob, I want to be your Friday night show. You just pick night or morning, and you pick one day of the week. Or if you want to be on all 14 shows, you can do so. Again, I can take up to 9 of you as a guest. The rules are simple. We're respectful to one another. We do not eat or smoke during the show. We do not use the names of children, social workers, or judges. And there's no profanity in the show. Show lots of respect. Lastly, I'm going to put my phone number up. That means you can call me. Um, Good morning, Betty Joe. Welcome from Montana. I just contacted the social worker supervisor to see if I can find out what's going on. And what did they tell you, Betty Joe? Betty Joe is trying to get her niece, it's her brother's child or brother's daughter, to be taken care of by Betty Joe, who's a foster care mom also. She just recently adopted a small child who lost his parents on a Friday night, and the relatives tried to take him in, but they just couldn't take care of him. Okay. Good morning, Betty Joe.
Good morning, Bob. Hey, I just talked to the supervisors, my caseworkers, my brother's caseworker supervisor,
Okay.
to find out what's going on, and she told me that she's going to talk to the county attorney to find out what his point of view is and where he's standing in this case. And I already told her what the county attorney had told me is that he believes in his head that I'm going to give my brother his child back. And I said, that's not true. I am willing to adopt this child as my own, like I have a child in the past.
Understood.
And so he said, so where's your brother at? I said, I don't know where my brother is at. And I said, last time I heard from him, he was at a treatment center in Nebraska. That's the only thing that I know about him. When they called me just to verify that they can use me as an emergency contact for my brother. I said, yes, you can. But I called them back the other day, and I told them you can drop me as emergency contact because I don't want to have any more ties with my brother. I had to drop all ties with him to fight for my needs.
Yes, you're right. You're right. What is their sole reason? Is that the foster people in Nebraska want that child so bad because of the money?
Yep, exactly. They want the money that they get from this child every month. They get a certain amount of money, if not millions and thousands of dollars. some change a day for the child. That's just like when I had my foster boy. I was only getting paid $21 and some change a day to take care of this little boy until I adopted him. Then once I adopted him, he was solely my responsibility.
So they discontinued making the payment then. Okay. All right.
Correct.
So as far as you're concerned, your brother is just going through treatment. Now, what about his termination of parental rights? You mentioned that he's going through treatment and they wrongly terminate his rights when he's going through treatment.
Right. In Nebraska, and I think it's in some other states, that if you're inside of a treatment center, they cannot terminate your parental rights. That's showing the judge that you are willing to take the safe steps to be a responsible parent of taking care of what you need to take care of. Like my brother, he has a bad addiction to marijuana and other drugs.
Yeah.
And so the judge told him, okay, I want to see you get counseling and I want to see you inside of some kind of treatment before we can give you your child back. Well, this was a year and a half ago that judge said that. And the judge kept on telling him, hey, you need to get this done. You need to get this done. Well, he just decided to do it at the beginning of September. Well, that's kind of too late now. The judge has already made his decision what he's going to do.
Oh,
and
okay.
the prosecuting attorney filed for termination of parental rights back in June because he wasn't doing nothing. And all of a sudden he decides that he's going to, I'm going to go to treatment center. They can't take my rights. Well, they can take your rights
if you don't make any progress in treatment. Yeah, you're right. So
if you're still at phase 1 and still at phase 1 within 6 months later, you're still at phase 1. You should be already up at phase 4, 5, and 6.
Right.
You're still on 1. So showing the judge, well, you're not making any progress, I am going to terminate your rights. Well, legally, by law, they cannot terminate his rights. So his attorney went there and had him fill out paperwork stating that he is wanting to do an appeal of his termination of rights. He has up to 30 days to make an appeal, and his 30-day mark is on the 27th of this month. So the attorney went there and he's going to appeal it and say, no, you're not taking his rights. He is in a treatment center. He is doing the best as he can. So we're just waiting to find out on the 27th what's going to happen. And I'm still waiting for the prosecuting attorney to see what he's going to say.
Now, why, if you're connected biological to the child, why is the court against you adopting that child or being guardianship of that child?
See, the county attorney's got it stuck in his head and from day one that my brother was up here in Montana. Supposedly my brother was living with me. He's never lived with me. When he was younger, he lived with me. But when he's as an adult, once he turned 18, he moved out. He was on his own. I haven't taken him back in since he was an adult. So the county attorney, in his head, he thinks, if we give Betty Jo this baby, we're going to have a problem because she's going to get the baby back to her brother. No, that's not the case. The case is, I'm going to adopt this child and raise this child just like my own. He's not going to have nothing to do with this child. Because it won't be his child no more. It's going to be my child.
Yeah, boy. The hardest part, right? The hardest part about dealing with this case is the time you have to wait for court hearings. That's the worst time.
It's the worst. And when I asked the supervisor, because the caseworker told me that I was no longer part of the case, I might as well step out of it. Well, if I'm not part of the case, well, why would you do an ICPC on me, which is an interstate compact placement of children across state lines? Why would you have me do that if I'm not involved in the case? And why would the judge not place the child with me until the mother went to another state and made allegations against me? And when she made those allegations against me, they put a hold on the child coming to me. Once those allegations were not founded, why did they not proceed to go through with what they said that they were going to do?
Now, these allegations, what were these allegations that they, foster parents are putting against you?
No, it was the mother
Oh,
stating that I was very abusive to her at my
okay.
home.
All
Well,
right.
she was abusive to my family, and I had to call law enforcement to have her removed off my property because she was getting violent. And when she was getting violent, I was like, that draws the line. I have to make sure that my children and my domain is safe for my children.
Yeah.
And the cop told me I did the right thing by calling them. And then when she got to the other state, she made the allegations that I pushed her down. She had a miscarriage. She was never pregnant. She went into a mental hospital and she started cussing at him, swearing at him, punching at him, doing a lot of things that she shouldn't have been doing. But they did a pregnancy test on her and she was a negative. She was never pregnant from the time that she gave birth until now. She's never been pregnant, and she's still not pregnant.
Yeah. Is she, her rights have been terminated, correct?
Yes, her rights are being terminated also.
Yeah. Because she wouldn't go for treatment, or why they terminate her rights?
Well, she's, how can I say it the polite way? She's mentally handicapped, so she's not capable of taking care of herself, so they can't place a child into the mother's home thinking that she's going to be taken care of because mom can't take care of herself. So how can she take care of another human being if she can't take care of herself?
You're right, babe, Joe. Now they were living in a treehouse in Nebraska, correct?
Yes, they were living inside the treehouse. There was no roof over it. There was only two walls that were put up, and then they put a tarp up on the other two walls. And the baby's playpen was up against the tarp. And if the baby was moving around at all inside of the playpen, it could have went right off the edge and
Oh,
went down to the
wow.
ground.
Wow.
It was very unsafe, unstable, no running water, no electricity, no bathrooms, nothing. No way of heating the bottles up or anything. I understand why the state got involved, because it's an unsafe environment for a child.
Right, right.
But they turned and told the police when they showed up that they were only there temporarily because they had to fix a flat tire.
Oh,
And
boy.
when the police got involved, they showed up and they looked at the situation, and then they just automatically took the baby into custody because the mom was not holding the baby. The baby was laying inside of a wagon, and it was like 100-degree weather. And she had this like sleeper outfit on that had feet to it, like a one-piece outfit that was very fuzzy looking. It was a very warm outfit. You don't put something like that on a baby when it's 100 degrees outside. When it's 100 degrees outside, you keep the baby in a onesie or even a diaper.
Yeah.
And you hold your baby. You don't just leave the baby laying inside of a wagon thinking that it's okay. When police officers shows up and your baby's laying in the wagon, you want to pick up your baby to show, hey, I give comfort to my baby even though she's not feeling good. I'm giving comfort to my baby. And she just let the cops walk all over the place and do whatever they wanted to do. If it was me, I would have said, nope, be on this property. This is my mom's property. Do you have a warrant to be here? If you do not have a warrant, please leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she doesn't know what's right and what's wrong. So I told myself, well, this is the time that I need to call the abuse and neglect hotline. I called them the moment that I knew that my brother was arrested. As soon as he got to the jail, he called me, and because you're allowed one free collect call, he called me and said, hey, we're both in jail. You need to come down and get the baby. And I'm like, okay, well, I got to do what I got to do first. I'm not going to just jump in my car and fly down there. And the social worker tells me, no, you can't have this baby. So I had to get a hold of the social worker. Social worker told me, well, you have 6 hours to make it here. It's not taking me more than 6 hours from Montana to get to Nebraska. It's going to take me at least 12 hours to get there.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Yeah, it
And when I got
is a
there,
long drive. It is.
it is a long drive, and I've been down there 3, 4 times already. And every time that I've gone down there, I've had visits. But this last time that I went down there, the social worker looked at me, you're not allowed to have visits. Why
Yeah.
am I not allowed to have visits?
Ex-
Because if parents are not visiting the child, you cannot visit the child either.
Right. Right. I do want to say
So
hello.
I got very upset.
Yeah, hold on one second. Don't go anywhere, Bay Joe. Um, Chrissy Jones is in Mesa, Arizona. She says that she's got some great news, getting ready to do in-home visits and working towards moving my son at home. I'm working over for 2 years. Hopefully everything goes good. I hope so too. Classic mommy who's from Georgia. I'm adoptive parents. I regret the role I was tricked to play in the system. We are part of the problem. I doubt every family member who's listed to care for the child. Now, Wishful, hello, Bob. Can I call next? You sure can. Maybe I can call and help some family what CPS is supposed to do. Where you from, Wishful? And Classic Mommy says, I'm sorry to the birth parents who have fought against instead of helping. And Wishful says, so glad you said that, Classic Mom. Wishful says, because they don't want kids to be around the family, they try to separate them, not bring them together. That's right. Divide
That's
and
true.
conquer, divide and conquer. They try to alienate the children, alienate the parents. They try to do all that. Now, Wishful, I don't know where you're from. Now, Christina Reynosa is from Las Vegas, Nevada. She's one of my regulars in here, and she asked um, that she's helping Sue Bartley in Montana. Is a caller from Montana? Yes, that's Betty Joe. She's a longtime member from Montana. First, there was Betty Joe, and then Lisa Bartley came along. And Christina Reynolds has been with me since the start of the show. She's really good at what she's done. I read, Christina, what you wrote on behalf as the advocate for Lisa Bartley. It's beautifully well written. And Classical Mommy says, I adopted 4 times, raised 3 of them to adulthood so far. 3 of them never had a birth father located, even though they're all local and the birth mom provided names. Wow, I didn't know that. Now, Wishful says, I have no idea where you're from, Wishful, but just because she has a mental disability does not mean her parental rights should be turned because of that's actual discrimination. Well, I don't know. When a parent can't take care of a child, they have no choice. If they are a child themselves, you can't have child raising children. I respectfully
That's right.
disagreed with you, Wishful, but that's not the solution there. The mother needs help, and she needs long term help. If she can't take care of themselves, and the couple, when they're living in Nebraska, had a very unfit home. That's why they're investigated. And all Betty Joe's trying to do is that she's family, and she wants that child to be taken care of by her. She can take care of children. She's a foster care mom herself. The sad part is the parents that are taking care of her brother's child want solely just because the money they get back. They are nothing related to that child. They've been with the child for half a year, but uh,
No, no, it's been 2.5 years.
okay, I did not know that. So they have a little bit of a bonding question there, but I know the child recognizes Betty Joe, and so I'm pretty sure the child um, knows that Betty Joe is family. So it's very difficult when you deal with a system that moves like snails and the court dates are so stretched out. They do that solely for the purpose of parents giving up. It's really sad how the child protection systems divides and conquer. It's the old ploy. And so now classical mommy from Georgia says mental disability not a reason. They use that fact to manipulate that for should have provided an ADA lawyer. Well, if you're not able to take care of a child, classical mommy, you need to take care of your needs first. You can't be both. You cannot have a disabled uh, parent trying to take care of children because they need a parent that recognizes things. And it's really dangerous to have a child in that environment. Now, what they could do is they could do a thing where they terminate the parental rights until the mother or the father demonstrate to the court that their problem, like the father is addicted to drugs, the mother is mentally not capable of taking care of herself. So when those issues are developed, they can then reopen the case and return the termination of parental rights. But they need to do some efforts there, classical mommy. Now, Chrissy, you were at the first part of the show and you're from Arizona. I've asked the foster mother to work together for the best interests of my child, and she doesn't want to. I tried to journal back and forth. It's always been a dead end. She wants to adopt him. Well, are you the biological mother of that child, Chrissy? Is that your child? And what's the status of your case? Um, do you still, yeah, Wishful wants to know if you still have do you have parental rights? And Wishful, I have no idea where you're from. Could you please identify where you're from? Um, and then you said, yes, mine has been severed. Oh, I didn't know that, Chrissy. That is so sad. That's so sad. And why did they terminate your rights to your child? Yeah, I know foster parents are lied to, told lies about the North family, why the kids were brought into care and fed to about the progress. I understand that. And you're welcome, Chrissy. And the birth family, right, classical mommy. Wishful says, this is what I want you to do, Chrissy Jones. Look up the state law of parental rights. Your child doesn't even have to be in foster care. If you do not consent to it, you have rights to where you are. Yeah, there's your constitutional and civil rights. You're right about that. Okay, Wishful's from North Carolina. We have Dorothy Cook from North Carolina, and we've had a gentleman, Bruce, I forgot his last name, but Bruce is from North Carolina with adult protective service issue regarding his dad. And so Wishful says, do not let the CPS and court scare you. They do intimidate all parents. They still intimidate me. They took custody of him. Why, Chrissy, did they take custody of your child? Let me see. This goes back and forth. This room is very active. I like this where people are talking to one another. There's a question asked by Classical Mommy, Chrissy Jones. Have you signed a case plan or safety plan? Wishful says DSS must investigate, have a plan of safe care before they take your child. Chrissy, I think so much. I don't know they've changed it so much. I did a TDM. I forgot what a TDM is, but maybe you can spell out, Chrissy, what a TDM is. Classical mommy, they need to explore that to end. They just terminated the parental rights for a power trip. It needs to medicate and educate. Well, yeah, there is thing. Yeah, Wishful's asking what a TDM is. Yes. Um, reunification, Chrissy. Yes. Chrissy.
TDM is a team decision making.
Okay, team decision making is what a TDM is. Thank you, Betty Joe. Wishful's North Carolina, and Chrissy says team decision meeting. I think she has them all, Bob, and a team decision meeting I never had about that. It's an Arizona thing. Well, I think it's every state, even worldwide. Christina Reynosa. Bob, ask Felicia Corella Renee if she can set up a time when you can talk about her dad who took her babies, please. I will try to do that, Christine Reynosa. For people not aware, Felicia Corella Renee is from Oxnard, California. She has a CPS case in Ventura County. She also has an eviction case, a criminal case, where she was wrongfully evicted from the house where she was taking care of her mother. Her mother's been missing since September, and she's worried about her mother. Her stepbrother kicked her out of the house. Um, we had Betty Joe on the line, so now my line is open. I guess Betty Joe had to go. I'm so glad she called me. Thank you, Betty Joe, for calling in. That was really great. Chrissy, if you want to call in, you can call in. The person that wants to call in, I think it was Chrissy. Let me see here. Um, I think it was Chrissy. You can call in. There we go. Uh, Good morning. This is Bob Pace. You reached my live stream. Who do I have the pleasure of talking to?
Hi, Bob. This is Wishful TV in the
Oh,
comments.
okay, Wishful. And you're from, oh boy,
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Do you know Dorothy Cook?
No, I don't.
She's been on my show numerous times, and she's maybe listening, but she's from North Carolina, and she had a
Okay.
wrongful case against her daughter. Her daughter was taken from
Okay.
her. So, what did you want to
Oh, I'm so
talk
sorry.
about, Wishful?
Okay, so I do want to talk about my case and how much informed I am of my case. So I'm, just trying to also get some information out for parents, maybe what I'm going through to, give them some insight a little bit. So basically, I'll give you the short little rundown as much as I can. So about 2018, my case started with my son. He was born prematurely. I did have marijuana in my system, so we both had marijuana in our system. But my North Carolina law says, and I'm not sure if this is for every state, but the state of North Carolina says in Chapter B that um, DSS has to, have an investigation and what they call a CMARC plan, a plan of safe care, in order for a child to be removed. They have to show that whatever drug or anything was in their system, it has to show that it affected the child, that it harmed the child in any way, and that they are in immediate danger. I did not have that on my case. My case was started about, I want to say like a week, but probably less than a week after that. So and this was my first case. So I've never dealt with CPS. I had two children prior to the case that they also threw on the case soon as they had decided to have a petition for non-secure custody with. If any of your kids' parents have non-secure custody orders on them, that is only for extreme conditions that they are supposed to do a non-secure custody order, meaning something is going on with the parents, meaning something's going on with the children to where they are both not safe in their environment or, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that was not the case for me. My case started for neglect and dependency, which was never proven, and they have to have written or imaging proof before before they try to bring up any allegations. They have to show whatever they're having a petition for. and that did not happen in my case. So fast forward to when they threw my kids on the case. If you have additional kids that and they did not start the case, your kids that are not on the case, they have to be on a separate petition in order for any court to hear the case. And a superior, I believe it's superior court, right? The superior court judge has to accept a petition in court before any court can make a decision on custody. Is that correct?
Ask the question again, wishful.
Okay, so I read that the superior court has to have like a filing of that petition. It has to go through the court of superior court in order for any petition to be filed in the court.
If you're doing, are you doing
Like
an appeal? Are you doing an appeal? Is that what you're talking about?
Even if it's not an appeal, because what I read up on it said that you have to they have to look over the case before any judge, district judge can, take on the case. I'm not sure if that's completely correct or if that's just correct for appeals, like you said.
No, you can make a complaint to the court. It doesn't have to go to the superior court first. You can make that complaint because the superior, they would be overstepping about. If you want to make a complaint, whether it's accepted by the court, that will be what the superior court will make a decision on, the judges of the superior court. Now, you're talking about the state superior court, or are you talking about the federal superior court? It depends. There are different rules with the federal and with the state. Everything has to go through the state first. It goes through the county, it goes through the state, it goes to federal. So you have to kind of follow that loop.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Now I have a question from Betty Joe from Montana, who was just on. She has a question. She said that she wants her to give you her phone number. Is that okay? To give you Betty Joe's phone number to you?
Yes, of course. Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yes, Betty Joe. I will forward the phone number to Wishful. Yeah.
Yes, I used to be exactly like them, very intimidated, very scared of, what CPS could say. But you have to know that you know your case best. Not your attorney, not your guardian ad litem, which is supposed to be an advocate for the children, but as we see, they go in court talking about why we should not have our children. They're not talking about the well-being of the children, the best interest of the children. Every time the parents go in court, there's nothing being said about what's in the best interest of the child except for separation. Right? So I used to be just like that, but I'm taking my case back to court. I have court in 2 days, so wish me luck on the first hearing, because I am going back for custody modification. Like I said, my case has been, it officially ended in 2023. And I have been educating myself since 2018, but I can honestly say that, dealing with CPS, it does put you in a dark space, but you can't be in that dark space too long, because the fight is for your children. It's no longer about your family and everybody else. It's about getting these children out of the system, point blank, period. And no matter who they're with, even if they're with your family somewhere, you can't really be with a child like that. So you need to get your child out of the system, because they are still making decisions for them. So y'all would love to talk to any parent. Again, I'm gonna put some pinpoints on my case. So when my case did start in 2018, I read up that for the North Carolina law, you have to have certain things in order, in working for my son who had marijuana in his system. There was no effect. There was no harm. He was born at 31 and 3.5 weeks. So I was a little bit of week off. I was very stressed out about being another single mother. That was my third child at the time. I was very, very upset because the father wanted to keep the child away from me. Before I even had the child, he was saying, don't don't you think you have enough kids? You should just let me keep this one. And that's exactly what he did when they took custody. And he had a criminal charge going on. I printed that out as well. He had a criminal charge at that time for possession on premises, on jail premises, while the case was going on. They didn't care about that. They just gave me parole after 6 months, and we've been fighting ever since. However, my hospital documents, my son had an APGAR score of 7. I did not know what an APGAR score was. The APGAR, which is spelled APGAR, that is a score which determines if your child is healthy enough or if it is not. Just if healthy enough to be alive, I'm not sure. But healthy enough to, be a healthy baby long term. So
Right.
my son had an APGAR score of 7, which 7 from 10 means a healthy baby. Even if you see on your first APGAR score, it'll say 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. 1 minute could be, score from 4 or 1 to 4. That's just a couple seconds of your baby being out the womb, which is completely normal.
Okay. Okay.
So my son had nothing wrong with him. He had a little bit of breathing problem, which did not affect him. He was released out of the 2 weeks, but before he was released, I believe 3 or 4 days after I gave birth to him, DSS came and told me that I could not take my child home, that I can leave, but he's not going home. He stayed in the NICU for the 2 weeks. Soon as he was released from the hospital, I was told that I could not come and see him the last day or the day before. I guess they were, scared I was going to take the child or whatever, as I rightfully should, because it's my child. But, like I said, it was my first CPS case. I was young. I was very aggravated that somebody was, coming and telling me what I can do with my child. So fast forward, when they closed the case, they still kept the case open, the same case. So my son's name was still on the case. They did not do a separate case for my oldest two. They said they were monitoring the children, which is not it's not legal. Basically, they have to have a separate petition for each child. They cannot just say, "Hey, we found 2 more children. Let's throw them on the case that we already have." Can't do that. You have to investigate every child, every situation that you're in. They did not do that. So they let my children stay with me up until 2020. They kept coming to my house, of course, and I lived in a whole other county at that. I had my child in the county where they filed the petition, but I did not live there. And that caused jurisdiction challenges, which I'm not sure if that's the same thing that can happen in their city, but you guys can look that up too for your jurisdiction challenges and see if that is an issue for you guys as well. Because you can ask the court, you can file a petition for jurisdiction to be taken. That is what I'm also doing. I'm doing an order of recusal. If you feel like a judge is being biased for you or anything like that, hell is right here on earth. It's the people that is walking around. It's the people that are taking our children every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot of children missing right now. We do not want that to be our children. We do not want that to be our children. We can't see them. We can't do anything. We don't know what's going on. And that is a pure violation of your 14th Amendment right, especially for your parental rights. Do not let them scare you out of your rights. I know it's a lot of things going on in this world, but your children is exactly why you need to get them out of that system. Because the system is always going to be a downfall. It's never going to uplift the children. It's never going to be in the best interest of the children. Unfortunately, like Bob said, they conquer and destroy. Those are words that the devil does. Do
Yes.
not let your children be consumed by that. Do not be consumed by their lies. You know the truth. You know why and why not your children should be in custody. You know what you did and did not do. Do not make them tell you that you did something wrong because you didn't. These are your children. And I just want to keep encouraging the families and stuff like that. I've called in before. I've talked to you before, Bob. I love what you guys do. I see you live about every day, just informing parents.
Yeah.
And I love that you and Vincent just take the time and do it. Like it's really something what you guys do. You just don't even know how much you guys make the world go round because it's a lot of people that are in you guys' position and are scared to, quite blow that whistle and let everybody know, like, hey, when you go into them courts, DSS is definitely going to be against you. A lot of people don't know that. They think, oh yeah, they're here to help me, and they sound like they're here to help you. They'll manipulate you and make you think that they're here for you, but they're not. So I just want to, if any parents would love to talk to me, I would love to talk to them. Again, Bob, thank you so much for doing what you guys do.
Well, it's very nice of you to state that, Wishful. Um, I'm glad you called
Yes,
in and shared a lot of your
yes.
expertise. What was your other name you used when you called in to talk to me? I'm testing my memory.
I was under the same name. Yes, I was under the same name, but it was about a few months ago, probably
Okay.
earlier this year. So I probably won't be in your memory log right now.
Well, no, I too
But
try
it
to
was
remember everybody.
I
It
did
just
say my name was
yeah.
Kalia.
Okay, okay. I do remember that name
Yes, my name was Kalia Rogers.
because Kalia
Okay, okay,
is
great,
easy to
great,
remember.
great.
Wishful
Yeah. So.
television is a heartful name. It's sometimes I get some
Mhm.
weird handles in here,
Yes.
and I wonder if they really are just there to be
Yes.
a political um, thorn in my television show or
Mhm.
not. So I had one trouble ever since Charlie
Mhm.
was murdered. I had for the next couple days all these people that called into my
Yeah.
show, and a lot of them weren't they're just being disruptive. And so there is a lot of politics going on in this world.
Wow.
But I do hope that Doge, the
Mhm.
government Department of Government Efficiency, does investigate and correct all the things that CPS is doing wrong. It's one of these agencies that really has no
Yes.
group of directors or supervisors, no board of supervisors, no directors that supervise and held accountability where the money
Mhm.
is. Right now, there's a case in Richmond, Kentucky, where
Mhm.
$1 million has gone unaccounted for, and they just found 400,000 of it that was embezzled by one of the social workers of CPS. They call their outfit the cabinet. So anyway, he's embezzled
Wow.
$400,000.
Wow.
So they are investigating and sort of.
Yeah, that's just like here. They had a child therapist. When CPS sends your child to a therapist, blah blah blah. The child therapist, she got caught for falsifying documents to keep the children in the foster homes that they were in. So it's 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 I don't know if it's moving along, Bob, but it need to hurry up. They need to. It's a lot of stuff going on, don't want that to be us. We already have our missing kids anyway because they're in a system with people and we can't see them. We don't know anything. It's literal kidnap. So it's insane, honestly. But I just want everybody to know, don't give up on your children. They are always waiting for us to get them. I'm telling you, my children are 9 and 10 right now. Two of them don't know me because they took them from birth. So I'm gonna have to work on that. But my oldest two grew up with me, and they want to come home. They sleeping on air mattresses and dirty rooms, no TVs for 4 years. I don't know if that sounds like the best interest of the child, and they're around criminals every day. My child's father is a criminal, and my daughter, my oldest daughter, she's not even related to the people that she's with right now. So I'm just glad they keep my two oldest together, but still they don't get to see anybody on my family side, anybody.
Okay.
It's hard, parents, but keep on that fight. These kids want us to come get them.
I agree with you. Um, the uh, uh, there was a couple questions here that so classical mommy said the supremacy clause says federal trumps all. State courts are in violation of the clause when they deny you a jury or opportunity to cross-examine your accusers. And Chrissy says prayers hope the court goes well. Classical mommy says keep appealing. Everybody needs to get to the Supreme Court. And classical mommy further says they count on shame in the most intimate and growth filled opportunities for parents, even absence, abuse, or neglect. Classical mommy, also, who's from Georgia, says the team decision making is a step towards closure, but they can do about face. Yeah, she could. They could do about face any time. Don't let your guard down. Don't trust one of them. Yes, one thing you got to be careful about social workers, and I don't know why they're doing this. It seemed apparently the caliber of social workers isn't really up there. It isn't really up there, and um, they are the ones that will do unscrupulous things. They don't care. It's all about money. It's all about money. And what's so sad is that when your kids are taken, your family is broken apart. 75% of the time, they don't need to take the child from the family. They're not in danger, but they have a habit of doing that. Also, alienation is illegal. And when they're in foster care, they're taught how to not say hello to your parents and how to give hugs. And there's so much detrimental. For you to have your visitation with your child, you can't discuss the case, which is wrong. Parents should be able to talk to their children and say, now don't worry, we'll get you back. Mommy and daddy are doing a program called domestic violence, or we're doing a classic, or we're trying to get you better. You're not forgotten. Every night we think about you. Parents should be allowed to say that, but the social workers who are listening don't want to do that.
Right, they tell the parents not to say that.
Exactly, which is wrong because it's not called false hopes. It's called children needs to be no because when the children are taken, they're not explained why they're taken. A lot of times the kids are too young to understand, and it's an interruption. When my children, my youngest was with me. Luckily, he was with me, but he still to this day still don't understand why he's taken in there. He said, "Daddy, there's no danger here at home. I love this home. I love my family." And so he's 20 years today, but they they really are really bad. And so you bring up some good things, Wishful, and I'm glad you did. I'm glad that you did. And so we got to be careful not to let our guard down. Now yeah, I have 11 o'clock, which means my show must end. I don't want to, but I am going to send you after I hang up. I'm going to send you Betty Joe's phone number to you so you can contact her. I want to thank Christina Reynoso for all that she does. She
Yes.
gave me an
Yes.
emoji, a heart. Thank you very much. I want to thank Classical Mommy from Georgia for your input.
Thank you.
I want to thank Christy Jones from Mesa, Arizona, for your input. Betty Joe, thank you for the phone call. I'll give you your phone number to Wishful. Wishful, thank you so much for taking the time to call in and talk to me.
I put my number in the comments as
Yeah,
well.
well, it won't transmit, which is sad. It
Yes,
won't.
thank you so much, Bob.
Yeah,
I
I have
love
to
you
do it.
guys.
I have to do it behind the
Oh
scenes. So
man.
I'm sorry. What?
Yeah.
What was funny?
Okay. So sorry, y'all.
That's all right. Um, let me see.
Oh, it was it was me trying to put my number in the comments.
It won't work for some reason. They bar that. I don't know
And
if
I'm
they're trying
thinking,
to
wait a minute.
control it. So
Okay.
I'm just going through my
Okay.
list of people
Okay,
that
that's
called
fine.
in. Um,
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
so I want to
Okay.
thank you all for being a part of my show, and thank you for your call, Wishful. I'm going to take my phone number down and put up the Government of Efficiency. Please check out the website. The phone numbers in Washington, D.C., 202.
Okay.
They will talk. That is also the email. So if you can't solve it at the county level and you can't solve it um, at
Mhm.
the state level, then you go to the federal level. That's how the chain of command kind of works there. So please, you parents,
Okay.
don't forget your children. Keep fighting for them.
Okay.
And I'll be here again tonight at 7 p.m.
Mhm.
Pacific Standard Time for
Mhm.
another round with Bob Pace. So I thank you all for calling in. God bless you. And
Have a good
please
one.
listen to my video that follows my show. Good afternoon.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted. And if you go against it, it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce them. This is Vincent Davis defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the
last ones left. Put your